Okay, problem 810, it says find the absolute minimum value of y, and you're given this equation over here. So let's go through the, I call a paper and pencil solution to the problem. And, we get a result to it, but let's just talk about how to check these results. Oh, I also want to put up the graph. I do the graph and certainly we get a result, but I certainly like to look at a graph and look at the result. So I'm looking at this over here, and certainly a graph of that relationship with a point that looks minimal there. All right. So let's just talk about Sage, and we'll go through that. I got to open up Sage first of all. So let me launch a terminal. I'm going to type in the word Sage. This launches an application called Sage. It's all in my computer. And I'm going to clear the screen. And I'm going to start typing in the code. And the code I do like to start with is reset. That's like basically a clean sheet of paper. There's two variables in the original problem, x and y. And I want to define those as variables now. Now I want to type an equation over here, and we'll go through this where this is coming from. Now again, I'm just typing something in. It's 1 over x divided by y. That looks pretty weird, doesn't it? A double equal sign is indicating this is an equation. And that's x over 116 plus 1 over y. All right, let's go back over here and make sure you know that I just typed in this over here. And so what is that? 1 over xy, that's the left-hand side, and x over 116, and then plus 1 over y. What do you do next? Let's take a look. So I'm going to solve the equation S. See, solve that equation, that's EQ, and I want to solve for the variable y. I'm going to assign it to a letter S though. Let me do that now. It's an assignment operator, the equal sign. Whoops. Let me display S for you, and that's what S is. Then y equals that there, all right? Okay, we solve for y. Now what I'm going to do is f of x, and I'll explain this as we're going through that. I'm going to say I'm going to access what s is, but I want this entry over here. And Sage starts counting at 0, but I don't want the y in it. So what I'm going to type in is I want the right-hand side to that. And let me type that in. Right-hand side, RHS. It's a function call. And I'm going to display f of x for you now. And f of x is minus 116, x minus 1, divided by x squared, which is, excuse me, right there. Now I'm going to define a new function, call it fp. fp is just a placeholder for me. It's going to be the derivative of the function f with respect to x. So it's the first derivative, is what it is. F prime, that's what fp stands for me anyway. So I'm going to say differentiate, and I'm going to differentiate f of x with respect to x. Oops, made a mistake somewhere. Let's find out what that is. I see it right now, and I think I put a period when I should have put a comma. Let me display fp for you, so what that looks like. And it looks like that over there. Again, you can take the derivative yourself. Now let's do f double p. That's 2 primes now. This is my notation for it. And we're going to differentiate. Whoops, sorry about that. I have to assign it. Differentiate fp of x with respect to x. All right, let's just display fpp. And we get this over here. You know what? I don't think I displayed FPP, and that's the problem. I just did, let me just pull this on the side a little bit. And let me go back over here. I'm going to display FPP now. And we get this over here. And again, you could do this by hand if you want. There's a point to it, though. The point is I'm just going through some motions that a normal calculus student do, is, take the first derivative, second derivative. Now, what I want to do is factor. Whoops, let me pull that up. I want to factor fp. All right, so I'm going to put that down. I'm going to factor fp. That's what happens. And I get this over here. All right, so what I'm going to do next is factor the f double p. So factor f double p. Okay. So what I want to claim over here, looking at the first derivative, there's there's a critical number over here, and that's x equals 2. Now I want to go back to the original function, which is, certainly a division with, by x, and I'm going to say x can't be 0, so I would not say that's a critical number. All right, now, again, I'm looking at fp. So the next thing I want to do is, I wonder what the sign of f double p is. And if I looked at that at 2, that would be a positive number. All right, so if I were plugging 2 over here, that would be a positive number. Now, what does that mean? It's concave up. So what does it mean? I'm getting a minimal value at 2. So what I want to do is I want to do f at 2. I want to see what number it gives me. And f at 2 is minus 29, which is the minimum value we found. All right. Now, granted, picture's over here. I'm looking at it. This is 2. F of 2 is minus 29. And that's it. We're just checking ourselves by using a computer algebra system to do so. Thank you.